stressing the point, yo, man, we ain't got no money. We poor. You know, emphasizing on this point. In Manasseh, and I am the least. Check this out too. We're poor, even in a poor family, they got rank. You know, the older brother get the biggest piece of wheat. The younger brother get the, just scraps, man, 2 beans and a whatever,
Crumbs.
Yeah, the crumbs, you know what I'm saying? You the younger brother. My family is poor. My family is poor.
Last man on the totem pole.
Yeah, yes, for real. But I'm pointing this out because y'all went to the poorest, and then you went to the lowest of the poorest. My family is poor in Manasseh, and I am the least in my father's house. And Yah said unto, that's to, what is that, to 15. Yeah, that was the point, 15. So I'm just emphasizing the point of Yah working with the poorest of the poorest. Exodus chapter 3, 1 to 6. Exodus chapter 3, 1 to 6. Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert and came to the mountain of Yah, even to Hero. And the angel of Yah appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of the bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. And Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush is not burnt. And when Yah saw that he turned aside to see, Yah called unto him out of the midst of the bush, and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, Here I am. And he said, draw not nigh hither. Put off thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place whereon thou standest is holy ground. Moreover, he said, I am Yah of thy father, and the Yah of Abraham, the Yah of Isaac, the Yah of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon Yah. And Yah said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and he hath heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows. And I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of that land unto a good land, and a large, unto a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites. And that is to 6. I just supposed to read 6. Now we're going to go to 11 to 13. Verses 11 to 13. And Moses said unto Yah, Who am I? See, we're going to, this is Moses. Who am I that I should go unto Pharaoh, that I should bring forth the children of Israel out of Egypt? And he said, Certainly I will be with thee, and this shall be a token unto thee that I have sent thee, when thou hast brought forth the people out of Egypt. Yea, ye shall serve Yah upon this mountain. And Moses said unto Yah, Behold, when I come unto the children of Israel, and shall say unto them, Yah of your father hath sent me unto you, and they shall say unto me, What is his name? What shall I say unto them? We're going to go to, and we understand I am, chapter 4 and 1. Chapter 4 and 1, and then we'll go 10 to 17 after that. And Moses answered it and said, But behold, they will not believe me, nor hearken unto my voice. For they will say, Yah hath not appeared unto thee. And you got to understand, Moses was quote-unquote murderer. Moses has lost his title in Egypt and whatnot, so he's a base state right now. And when he go into the prideful Hebrews, even though they were in captivity, the Hebrews, they still stiff-necked people, so they like, oh, hey, we been drinking out here. You know what I'm saying? So they wasn't going to show him no respect. All right, 10 to 17. And Moses said unto Yah, O my Yah, I am not eloquent, neither heretofore from for, nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant, but I am slow of speech and of a slow tongue. And I'm pointing this out because not only was Moses, his particular base state, he wasn't even a particularly normal speaking person at his time. I don't know the full details. Some people say he had a speech impediment or whatnot, but he wasn't even a good speaker. And Yah said, hey, I want you to speak to me.
They had placed hot stones in his mouth when he was a young man because he put on Pharaoh's crown when he was a kid.
I don't know the full story. I wouldn't be surprised.
That's correct.
But my point in bringing this out, a spokesman is supposed to be a speaker that you're supposed to go to. They're supposed to write it out. When you want somebody to speak to you, yada yada. But Yah is doing this because Yah already know that. But he's still going to use Moses to be his mouth. He about to get assistant also. But we'll read that in a second. And Yah said unto him, who hath made man's mouth? Yah is like, man, I'm in control of this. Why you think I'm working with you? I know you know. I know you can't do nothing, man. I get this. I made the mouth, though. Or who maketh the dumb? Yeah, I make the dumb. Somebody dumb, I made them dumb. Or deaf. Or the seeing. Or the blind. Have not I, Yah? Now therefore go, and I will be with thy mouth. Now when Yah say he with you, I don't care how weak you are. Go ahead and do whatever you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? It might just be for a moment you get it. You know what I'm saying? Trust in Yah. And teach thee what I shall say. And he said, O my Yah, send, I pray thee, by the hand of him who thou wilt send. So Moses is having a little problem right now because he's seeing his weakness, and he's like, Yah, trust me, Yah. I need some more help. He's not fully trusting in Yah, and if we read on, we're going to see Yah was more patient with him, and blessed him in another way to reassure him or whatnot. The anger of Yah, the anger of Yah was kindled against Moses. Now you see what happens when you're not trusting in Yah, and he understands you base. You know what I'm saying? You in a wheelchair, and he told you to go race in somebody who run track. Yeah, I ain't got no legs. But at that moment, Yah gonna give you some legs. You just gotta trust. No matter what. And this goes to the perfect love. I love Yah, so I'm gonna trust in Yah, and this is what it is. And the anger of Yah was kindled against Moses. Now Yah was angry with Moses a few times, boy. Yah was about to kill Moses, about not being circumcised. Yah was walking to him, man. I'm about to kill him because again, he wasn't just trusting in Yah when Yah told him to do something. And Yah sent him a helpmeet at that time, a good wife. She was a little mad at him, but she probably got over it.
With some kids, man.
Mm-hmm.
Really protected with kids.
Mm-hmm. And he said, is not Aaron the Levite thy brother? I know that he can speak well. And also, behold, he cometh forth to meet thee. And when he seeth thee, he will be glad in his heart. And thou shalt speak unto him, and put words in his mouth. And I will be with thy mouth, and with his mouth, and will teach you what ye shall do. And he shall be thy spokesman unto the people, and he shall be to thee instead of thy mouth, and thou shalt be to him instead of Yah. And thou shalt take this rod in thine hand, wherewith thou shalt do signs. So Yah's giving them powers and whatnot. And we're going to move on to Jeremiah 1:1, chapter 1, verse 1 to 9. So we're seeing how Moses in the base state, and Yah prepping them because he's going to use them. And we're gonna come back to this in a little bit to see how Yah is used. But we just want to make sure story, touch all bases and see how Yah is working with the loader. Chapter 1, 1 through 9. The words of Jeremiah, the son of Hilkiah, of the priests that were in Anathoth, in the land of Benjamin, to whom the word of Yah came in the days of Joshua, the son of Josiah, the son of Ammon, the king of Judah, in the 13th year of his reign. It came also in the days of Jehoiakim. Yeah, there you go. The son of Josiah, the king of Judah, unto the end of the 11th year of the Zedekiah, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, unto the carrying away of Jerusalem captive in the 5th month. Then the word of Yah came unto me, saying, Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou comest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. So, in this day and time, we have this great scholarship of Yah to go to understand it. If Yah put that in your spirit, and Yah working with you, and Yah tell you go do something, this is reassuring. Because Yah like, man, I've been knew who you were before you knew who you were, so trust me. So this is reassuring because Moses didn't have this. Moses didn't have Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5. He didn't have that. We got this a little bit easier for us. If we're what Yah calls you for, if Yah calls you to do something like Moses and prophets, it's reassuring that Yah's going to be with you. Then said Yah, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. But Yah said unto me, Say not that I am a child, and this is the 9, for thou shalt go to all that I shall send thee, and whatsoever I command thee, thou shalt speak. Be not afraid of their faces, for I am with thee to deliver thee, said Yah. Then Yah put forth his hand and touched my tongue, and Yah said unto me, Behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. That's when you stuff. And when you trust in Yah, this is the stuff. And this is the initial story. You know what I'm saying? The more you work out with Yah, the stronger you're going to get. I remember, man, when Yah came, I couldn't pick up 10 pounds. Man, I'm picking up 100 pounds like it ain't nothing, man. Just, what? Just throwing like, oh, my bad, you can't pick up 100 pounds. My bad. My bad. And this is what happens when you're working with Yah. It's only going to get better. You're only going to get better. So when Yah gives you something, a little nugget of something, you work with it, and it's going to get bigger and bigger, and you'll get better and better. Now we'll go to Matthew chapter 4, 18 to 22. Matthew chapter 4, 18 to 22. And Yahusha, walking by the Sea of Galilee, saw 2 brothers, Simon, called Peter, and Andrew, his brother, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishers. And he said unto them, Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. And they straightway left their nets and followed him. And going on from thence, he saw other 2 brothers, James, the son of Zebedee, and John, his brother, in a ship with Zebedee, their father, mending their nets. And he called them, and they immediately left the ships and their father, and followed him. And this is the last one on this, but you see what Yahusha went. He didn't go to the Pharisees and the scribes. Hey, who got the best grades in here? Who got a 4.0 in here? Hey man, where the fishing yard is? They probably can't even read. Hey, you! Come here. Come follow me. You know what I'm saying? they wasn't the scholars of the time. They were simple people, and at that time, whatever your father passed down unto you, that's what you was going to do for the most part. So these were simple people, not educated or whatnot. So these are what Yah is looking for, the simple. And we're going to go to why is this? Exodus chapter 20, 1 to 6. So you see that Yah is working with the lowly. And you're really not, truly, to be honest, you're really not lowly if Yah's working with you, because it's like Jeremiah, Yah knew you. He to set you up in this situation to set a level of character in you. So, you won't be prideful or anything of that nature. You won't forget where your humble comings are from. Exodus 21 to 6. And Yah spake all these words, saying, I am Yah, the Abba, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I am Yah, thy Abba, am a jealous Yah, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Exodus 24 and 3 to 8. 24, 3 to 8. And Moses came and told the people all the words of Yah, and all the judgments, and all the people answered with one voice, and said, all the words which thou, the Yah, hast said, will we do. And Moses wrote all the words unto Yah, and rose up early in the morning, and builded an altar under the hill, and 12 pillars, according to the 12 tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto Yah. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in a basin, and half of the blood and sprinkled it on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people. And they said, all that Yah hath said will we do, and be obedient. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people, and said, behold, the blood of the covenant which Yah hath made with you concerning all these words. Now go to Proverbs chapter 6, 32 to 35. Proverbs 6. 32 to 35. And the point, why is Yah doing this? Because, Yah wants something, that's his, what I'm saying? He want to, get into the foundation of the workings and really make it his. That's why he's going through all this trouble to work with something that's lowly. Because when you work with something that's lowly, it takes time to nourish it, to love it, to watch it grow. You could just go, hire somebody that just graduated college and, they just ready to go. But, they don't have your imprint on them. Y'all want to put his imprint on you. So when he's working with you and you grow, you're going to reflect him. You're not going to, he's trying to minimize pride. But whosoever committed adultery, you got to remember what they were saying in Exodus about they're going to do whatever Yah, they agree with the covenant. But whoever committed adultery with a woman lacking understanding, he that do it destroyed his own soul. A woman's dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. For jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare thee in the day of vengeance. He will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content, though thou givest many gifts. In Numbers 20, 1 to 13. And this is why Yah does this. because Yah is trying to minimize his chances. Because you gotta understand, if Yah gets this wrong, he gonna go into a rage frenzy. You know what I'm saying? Because I done got some people that weren't properly developed, and pride was in them. Now they cheating on me. Now I'm full of rage and whatnot. So he gotta take broken people. So it's being smart. You don't wanna. If you know better, you gonna do better. And God knows better, so he's trying to do better. Numbers 21 to 30. 1 to 13. Numbers 21 to 13. 21 to 13. Then came the children of Israel, 1 to 13, even the whole congregation in the desert of Zin in the first month, and the people abode in Kadesh, and Miriam died there and was buried there. And there was no water for the congregation, and they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron. And the people sided with Moses and spake, saying, Would Yah that we have died when our brethren died before Yah? And why have ye brought up the congregation of Yah into this wilderness, that we and our cattle should die there? And wherefore have ye made us to come up out of Egypt to bring us in unto this evil place? It is no place of seed, or of figs, or of vines, or of pomegranates, neither is there any water to drink. And Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and they fell upon their faces, and the glory of Yah appeared unto them. And Yah spake unto Moses, saying, Take the rod, and gather thou the assembly together, thou and Aaron thy brother, and speak ye unto the rock before their eyes, and it shall give forth his water. And pay close attention to this. And speak unto the rock before their eyes, and it shall give forth water. Y'all ain't telling them to do anything else besides that. Go to the rock, speak. That's it. I just want to point that out. Y'all gonna get that in a little bit. And it shall give forth his water, and thou shalt bring forth to them water out of the rock. So thou shalt give the congregation and their beasts drink. And Moses took the rod from before Yah, as he commanded him. And Moses and Aaron gathered the congregation together before the rock. And he said unto them, Hear now, ye rebels, must we fetch? See what I'm saying? Moses is in his anger.
Right.
Moses is angry right now, because you got to really understand, Moses deal with a whole bunch of people, and they always complaining, and they working Moses' nerve, and they got to him this time. And this was bad. This was bad. This was very bad.
Working his nerve.
Yeah, and this was very bad. Now, hear now, ye rebels, must we fetch ye water out of this rock? And Moses lifted up his hand and his rod. He smote. Now, Yah told him to speak. And he smote the rock twice, and the water came out abundantly, and the congregation drank, and their beasts also. And Yah spake unto Moses and Aaron, Because ye believe me not to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel. Therefore ye shall not bring this congregation into the land which I have given them. This is the water of Meribah, because the children of Israel strove with Yah, and he was sanctified in them. So, I was pointing that out because, Yah is very jealous. You got to be careful with that. Psalms 95, 3 and 5. And he told Moses to go up to the rock and die, which Moses did. 95, 3 to 5. For Yah is great, for Yah is a great Yah and a great King above all gods. In his hand are the deep places of the earth. The strength of the hills is his also. The sea is his, and he made it, and his hands formed the dry land. So, this referencing God's strength about forming, how he's in control. Malachi chapter 1 and 14. Malachi 1 and 14, verse 14. But cursed be the deceiver which hath in his flock a male, and vowed and sanctified unto Yah a corruptible thing. For I am Yah, a great king, said Yah of hosts, and my name is dreadful amongst the heathen. So Yah's, making sure he's pushing this point. And the last one on this part of why Yah is like this, again, y'all should get the point that Yah is very jealous, and he wants things to go right so much, because things don't go right, Yah has to destroy it. So he tries to make sure he's covering all his grounds to work with the lowly and making the game plan so everything goes right. Isaiah 42 and 8. Isaiah 42 and 8. Because if it don't work out, Yah gotta kill you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just the way it is, man. All this work. You know what I'm saying? Think about Saul. All that work y'all put into Saul. All that work y'all put into Solomon. All that work, David redeemed himself, but all that work he put into David. It's like, oh man. Y'all probably got gray divine hairs up there. Y'all, you got a gray hair right? Oh, that's Solomon. Gave me a gray hair. But 42 and 8. Chapter 42, Isaiah 42 and 8. Yea, thou heardest not. Yea, thou knewest not. Yea, from that time that thine ear was not open, for I knew that thou wouldest deal very treacherously, and would call a transgressor from the womb. So, just pointing that God dealing with you in the womb. So, this is the point of that. It's a precept about that in Jeremiah 2. Y'all know who he's dealing with in the womb. And this is the outcome, okay, of doing all this, God's working with the lowly, to do his will. Jeremiah 18, 1 to 6. This is the outcome of all this hard work and meticulous planning. 18, 1 to 6. 18, chapter 1, Jeremiah 18, verses 1 to 6. The word which came to Jeremiah from Yah, saying, Arise, and go down to the potter's house, and there I will cause thee to hear my words. And you see it again. It wasn't that all the time Jeremiah was hearing. It was just for that moments that he needed to hear Yah's words. That was in his mouth. So, some people be like, well, y'all ain't dealing with me right now. Well, when it comes to crunch time, that's when y'all going to deal with you. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing that matters. Then, so you might not know how to do advanced multiplication, just any time. But when y'all, want you to do it, you don't know how to do it and whatnot. Then I went down to the potter's house, and behold, he wrought a work on the wheels, and the vessel that he made of clay was mirrored in the hand of the potter. So he made it again in another vessel, as seemed good to the potter to make it. Then the word of Yah came to me, saying, O house of Israel, cannot I do with you as the potter? Said Yah, Behold, as the clay is in the potter's hand, so are ye in mine hand, O house of Israel. And this is the 6th. So, Yah have the power over the clay. Now we'll go to John 17. John 17. And on down. These words spake Yahusha, lifted up his eyes to heaven, and said, Father, the hour is come. glorify thy Son, that thy Son also may be glorified thee, as thou hast given him power over all flesh, that he should give eternal life to as many as thou hast given him. Give him. And this is life eternal, that they might know thee, the only true Yah, and Yahushua HaMashiach, whom thou hast sent. I have glorified thee on the earth. I have finished the work which thou gavest me to do. And this is to all the other prophets, Moses, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, etc., etc. I have glorified thee on the earth. I have finished the work which thou givest me to do. And now, O Yah, O Abba, glorify thou me with thine own self, with the glory which I had with thee before the world was. I have manifested thy name unto man, which thou gavest me out of the world. Thine they were, and thou givest them me, and they have kept thy word. Now they have known that all things whatsoever thou hast given me are of thee, for I have given unto them the words which thou givest me, and they have received them, and have known surely that I come out from thee, and they have believed that thou didst send me. I pray for them. I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine, and all mine are thine, and thine are mine, and I am glorified in thee. And now I am no more in the world, but these are in the world, and I come to thee. Holy Abba, keep through thine own name those whom thou hast given me, that they may be one, as we are. While I was with them in the world, I kept them in thy name. Those that thou gavest me I have kept, and none of them is lost, but the son of perdition, that the scriptures might be fulfilled. Now come I to thee, and these things I speak in thy world, that they might have my joy fulfilled in themselves. I have given them thy word, and the world hath hated them, because they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. So the people who y'all are working with and sending out, the world gonna hate you if you're not of this world, obviously. But Yahushua is just reinforcing this, and I want to start with this before we go to the other prophets and whatnot. I pray not that thou shouldest take them out of the world, because they have to do a job. So you be like, y'all ready up? Ready go? Wanna go home? It's like, yeah, nah, you got a job to do, man. You got a job to do, man. I pray not that thou should takest them out of the world, but that thou shouldest keep them from the evil, that they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. Sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is true. As thou hast sent me into the world, even so I also sent them into the world. And for their sakes I sanctify myself, that they also might be sanctified through the truth. Neither pray I for those alone, but for them also which shall believe on me through their word, that they all may be one, as thou, Abba, art in me, and I in thee, that they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that thou sent me. And the glory of which thou givest me I have given them, that they may be one, even as we are one, I in them and thou in me, that they may be made perfect in one, and that the world may know that thou hast sent me, and hast loved them, as thou hast loved me. Father, I will that they also, whom thou hast given me, be with me where I am, that they may behold my glory, which thou hast given me. For thou lovest me because thou lovest me before the foundation of the world. O righteous Abba, the world hath not known thee, but I have known thee, and these have known that thou hast sent me, and I have declared unto them thy name, and will declare it, that the love wherewith thou hast loved me may be in them, and I in them. So this is just to encourage the people, the prophets who Yah's working with. Romans 1:23. And I charge the glory, and I change the glory, and change the glory of the uncorruptible Yah into a image made like to corruptible man, and the birds, and the four-footed beasts, and creepy things. That's the right. Genesis, and now we get to the main part of how all this is coming around. Genesis 13:5-12. 13:5-12. Genesis 13:5-12. And Lot also, which went with Abram, had flocks, and herds, and tents, and the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together. For their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together. And there was a strife between the herdmen of Abram, cattle, and the herdmen of Lot, cattle, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites dwelt there in the land. And Abram said unto Lot, Let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdmen and thy herdmen, for we be brethren. Is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go to the right. Or if thou depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left. And Lot lifted up his eyes, and behold, all the plain of Jordan, and was well watered everywhere, before Yah destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the garden of Yah, like the land of Egypt, as thou comest unto Zorah. Then Lot chose him all the plain of Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated themselves the one from another. Abram dwelt in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelt in the city of the plain, and pitched his tent toward Sodom. But the men of Sodom were wicked, and the sinners before thee, Yah exceedingly. And I'm reading this to show you, okay, Yah has vexed them, Yah has tried them, Yah has worked with them. Now Yah is opening up the floodgates. You know, Yah is working with you now. Now you can go in Yah garage, take whatever you want, and Yah working with you, because Yah knows what you about now. All right. Now we're gonna go to Ezekiel 16:10-14. Ezekiel chapter 16:10-14. So Yah is now ready to give you all his power. Ezekiel 16:10-14. I clothe thee also with embroidered work, and shod thee with badger skin, and I girded thee about with fine linen, and I covered thee with silk. I decked thee also with ornaments, and I put bracelets upon thy hand, and a chain on thy neck, and I put a jewelry on thy forehead, and earrings in thine ears, and a beautiful crown upon thine head. Thus was thy deck with gold and silver, and thy remnant was of fine linen, and silk, and embroidered work. And thou didst eat fine flour, and honey, and oil, and thou was exceeding beautiful. And just to point this, I'll read it after I read 14. Fulfill, and thou didst prosper into a kingdom, and thy renown went forth among the heathen before thy beauty, for it was perfect through my comeliness, which I had put upon thee, said Yah. And we go back to what was this? let me see. Verse 5. Now, just to keep this in y'all memory, Zion was in a lowly state. You know, they wasn't even a nation then. And you see when y'all started working with him, what he gave them, but always remember how you started. Verse 5. None I pitied thee, to do any of these things unto thee, to have compassion upon thee. But thou wast cast out in the open field to the loathing of thy person, in the day that thou wast born. You know, but now y'all working with you and y'all giving you everything. I mean, fine flour, fine jewelry, everything. You know, power, beauty, and all of that. Judges chapter 7, verse 7-25. Now y'all showing you because y'all working with you, everything's going in motion. You know, unfortunately, they didn't keep it going, so we got no more. It's the last go around of this, man. It's the last go around to mess up. You mess up now, you die. Ain't nobody praying for you to come back. It's like the scriptures say, man, pray for them that fall, whatever, that y'all might have. Not that, they dead. They in hell. So it's the last go around of this. Y'all like, I'm done. I'm done with this, man. All this trial and error. If you're not on this boat, yeah, that's it. It's the last boat going to y'all. Verse 7-25. And Yah said unto Gideon, because you got to remember, Gideon was like, yo, we poor, we ain't got no money, we up in here sipping wheat and hiding it and all that. So now Yah is about to reveal everything to him. And Yah said unto Gideon, by 300 men that lapped will I save you. Because Gideon was told to bring an army to go defeat this heathen, I think with the Midianites. Yeah, the Midianites. But you about to see what Yah is doing though. Yah, it had thousands. He went from thousands to just a few hundred, and it's because it's going to show forth Yah's power. And Yah said unto Gideon, by 300 men that lappeth will I save you, and deliver the Midianites into thine hand, and let all the other people go, every man unto his place. So the people took victuals in their hand, and their trumpets, and he sent all the rest of Israel, every man unto his tent, and retained those 300 men, and the host of Media was beneath him in the valley. And it came to pass the same night that Yah said unto him, arise, get thee down unto the host, for I have delivered it unto thine hand. But if thou fear to go down, go thou with Pharaoh, thy servant, down to the host, and thou shalt hear what they say, and afterwards shall thine hand be strengthened to go down unto the host. Then went he down with Pharaoh, his servant, unto the outside of the armed men that were in the host, and the Midianites and the Amalekites, and all the children of the east lay along the valley like grasshoppers of the multitude, and their camels were without number, as the sands by the seaside of the multitude. So you got to understand this, imagine this, 10,000 people against 300 people. It's probably more than that. 100,000 people against 300 people. Okay. But Yah has empowered these 300 people to do a certain task. And this is 25. And when Gideon was come, behold, there was a man that told a dream unto his fellow, and said, behold, I dreamed a dream, and lo, a cake of barley bread trembled into the host of Media, and came unto a tent, and smote it that it fell, and overturned it, that the tent lay alone, and his fellow servants, and said, this is nothing else save the sword of Gideon, the son of Joash, a man of Israel, for into his hand hath Yah delivered Media, and all his hosts. You know, that's pretty bad when y'all see you a dream about, you know, your enemy is just a lasagna dish and you about to eat. You know, you got to put that in perspective, you know what I'm saying? My enemy, man, y'all got it on 350, ding, you know, the Midianites here. Take a slice, you about to eat them up. But this is the power that Yah has given to him, you know, because when he was in a low state, you know, Yah worked with him and he worked with Yah. And it was so, when Gideon heard the telling of the dream and the interpretation thereof, that he worshiped and returned into the host of Yah. So one thing about Gideon never had that, well, I ain't going to say that, because he did ask him to put the fleece 3 times. And he's like, Yah, please don't be mad with me. But once he foresaw it all, you know, he worshiped Yah and all that, gave Yah praise, due praises. And he delivered the 300 men into 3 companies. And he put a trumpet in every man's hand with empty pitchers and lamps within the pitchers. And he said unto them, Look on me, and do likewise. And behold, when I come to the outside of the camp, it shall be that as I do, so shall ye do. When I blow with a trumpet, I and all that are with me, then blow ye the trumpets also on every side of the camp, and say the word, the sword of Yah, and of Gideon. So Gideon and the 100 men that were with him came unto the outside of the camp in the beginning of the middle watch, and they had but newly set watch, and they blew the trumpets and brake the pitchers that were in their hands, and the 3 companies blew the trumpets and brake the pitchers, and held the lamps in their left hands and the trumpets in their right hands to blow withal. And they cried the sword of Yah and Gideon. And they stood every man in his place round about the camp, and all the host ran and cried and fled. And the 300 blew the trumpets, and Yah set every man sword against his fellow, even throughout all the host. And the host fled to Beth Shittah in Zererath, and to the border of Abel Moholah unto Tebeth. And the men of Israel gathered themselves together out of Naphtali, and out of Asher, and out of Manasseh, and pursued after the Midianites. So Yah took the lowly of the lowliest, Zion, and made them the mighty man. And when Jasher, Naphtali seen that, man, the word spread, man, 300 men just kicked the Midianite butts. What? Y'all back with us, baby? You know what I'm saying? So it infused that spark back into them, because once you hear something like that, you know, Yah doing this miracle, and this is why Yah didn't want David to number Zion. He didn't want that, because they were like, man, 100,000 men beat the Midianites. Oh, great, man, we coming back. But it's not Yah, though. You know what I'm saying? When you hear 300, Yah back with us. You know what I'm saying? And this is why Yah... That's right, and this is why Yah did that. Now we're going to go to Judges chapter 8, 33 to 35. 8, 33 to 35. The next one over. 33 to 35. And it came to pass, as soon as Gideon was dead, that the children of Israel, I guess I put this in here just to see how Israel.
Come on, man, stop.
Two-thirds gotta go, man. I'm tired of this, man. I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of this, man. Y'all tired of it too. And it came to pass as soon. Now you done seen what Gideon done, and they didn't say, man, a little while after Gideon died. 2 weeks after Gideon died. They said as soon as somebody walked past. That's how it went. And it came to pass, as soon as Gideon was dead, that the children of Israel turned again and went a whoring after Balaam, and made their God. I mean, God, man, yo. Oh man, and the children of Israel remembered not
That's right.
Yah, their Yah, who delivered them out of the hands of their enemies on every side. When Gideon was like, here, take this trumpet and this picture, you go here, you go over here, go here. The word spread out to Jason, Tally, and everybody. Neither showed they kindness to the house of Jerubbaal, namely Gideon, according to all the goodness which he had shown unto Israel. That was just a side note. When I was reading that, I was like, this is disgusting, man. They gotta go, man. You can't. These people are unsavable. You know what I'm saying? 2/3 just ain't gonna make it in Zion. They gotta go. But that's a side note. Exodus chapter 7. I mean, they said as soon as Gideon closed his eyes, 1 second too long. Yeah, he did.
Did his what?
Chapter 7.
They figured Moses going up to Sinai.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they did Gideon more dirty. They said, man, sooner. I'm sure they at least waited.
40 days.
I'm sure they at least waited 7 days for Moses or something.
Yeah.
Then they told Aaron, get up! Make us high.
Like it's God that brought us out of his misery.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Now, chapter 7. Exodus chapter 7. A few more verses after that. And Yah said unto Moses, see how it go. He took Moses from his low state. Moses was working with Yah and whacking. We know what happened in Egypt. Egypt mighty. They got the taskmasters doing all that stuff. They work in Zion. Father Abraham afraid to tell them about his wife. Like, man, you my sister, they gonna kill me. So we talking about Egypt. We got the backstory. Now we're gonna see how Yah has lifted them up. How in this particular Moses. And Yah said unto Moses, see, I have made thee a god to Pharaoh, and Aaron thy brother shall be thy prophet. Man, this is Yah saying, I have made you so powerful, Moses. You throw your staff down, they throw 2 snakes down, and you eat them both. And you just walk out and say, I'll be back tomorrow. See what you talking about tomorrow. Every day Moses in there with his staff. What's up, Pharaoh? What's up? And remember, when Moses was walking around, ain't no guards of Pharaoh touched him.
That's right.
He walked in without an issue, and he walked out without an issue.
Right.
Pharaoh didn't dare touch Moses because Yah has put his full power on Moses. And Moses, he found Moses in a low state. That's the point. Moses was in a low state.
Right.
Thou shalt speak all that I have commanded thee, and Aaron thy brother shall speak unto Pharaoh, that he send the children of Israel out of his land. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart and multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt.
Right.
But Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that I may lay my hand upon Egypt and bring forth my armies and my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Egypt by great judgment. And the Egyptians shall know that I am Yah.
Yes.
How are they knowing that? When Moses first came up there, they laughed at Moses. Oh, Moses, how you doing? How your wife doing, Moses, down there? How you doing? How the sheep doing? I bet you mixed this watermelons and all this stuff. They was joking Moses when he came back. But we understand that when Moses, started talking a while, they went to joke. And the Egyptians shall know that I am Yah when I stretch forth my hand upon Egypt and bring out the children of Israel from among them. And Moses and Aaron did as Yah commanded them, so did they. And Moses was 80 years old, and Aaron 83 years old, and they spake unto Pharaoh. Man, ain't nobody just coming to Pharaoh. Y'all need to understand that too, man. You gotta have some. Only time you come to Pharaoh, unless you got some power, he called you, or he about to come judge you. That's it. That's it. So, and Moses don't fit the other two. Moses has some power because Yah gave it to him. And Yah spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, when Pharaoh shall speak unto you, saying, show a miracle for you, Then thou shalt say unto Aaron, take thy rod and cast it before Pharaoh, and it shall become as a serpent. And Moses and Aaron went in unto Pharaoh, and they did so as Yah had commanded them. And Aaron cast down his rod before. You know how Satan be whispering in your ear? Yah whispering in your ear. You know, do this, Moses, do this. That's the good words, you know, not the wicked. And Moses and Aaron went into Pharaoh, and they did so as Yah had commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent. And then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers. So they bring out the big guns right here. And the magicians of Egypt, they also did in like manner with their enchantments. For they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents. Now, in the movies, there's 2 rods, but in this particular one, it's probably 4. Because he said they called the wise man, the sorcerers, the magicians. Also did he in like manner with their enchantments. So it might be 3 or 4 snakes that was really on the ground. For they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents. But Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods. Woo! You talking about the metaphorically speaking, the pissing contest? That's, you know what I'm saying? Cause you know the bravado and all that. You know what I'm saying? Mind bigger, you know, all that stuff. Man, Moses, you know, getting them, man. For they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents. But Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods, and he hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he hearkened not unto them, as Yah had said unto them, as Yah had said. And Yah said unto Moses, Pharaoh's heart is hardened; he refuses to let the people go. Get thee unto Pharaoh until the morning. Lo, he goeth out unto the watchers, and thou shalt stand by the river brink. Against him he come, and the rod which he turned to a serpent thou shalt take in thy hand, and thou shalt say unto him. So let me put this in front. You mind I borrow that rod? I'm going to put this in proper perspective. I can't wait to get mine too, boy. In the kingdom, you know, all the man of Zion are going to have rods too. I'm sure it's going to have quote unquote magic in it too. Man, I want some apples. I'm just saying that's scriptures. That's Ezekiel. That's Ezekiel. Every man will be of old age with his rod in the streets of Zion.